Shalom. Welcome to the Hebrew Heritage Channel. On this channel, we break down the Word into bite-sized pieces to gain a better understanding. Today, we'll be picking up where we left off in Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Go ahead, grab your Bible to follow along, a pen and a notepad so you can take some notes. And if you haven't already watched my previous videos, I recommend you check them out so you can follow the story in order. Okay, let's begin. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth, when they were created in the day that Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahweh Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Remember, last time we met, we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, and we learned who said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Now, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, you can see how it was done. Verse 8. And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Yahweh Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You have the tree of life in the garden, and you also have the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life was supposed to sustain man to live forever, so we could be in the image of Elohim, living forever, as mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. But that was conditional. And as we continue to go through the Bible, you will learn what took place to cause man to no longer have the opportunity to live forever. Verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. The Pison River is known as the Nile River today. Who witnessed the creation of heaven and earth if man wasn't created until the sixth day? No flesh and blood man saw the creation of heaven, earth, or the firmament. Everything was already set up on earth before man was created. So Adam, at the time, would have had no use for gold mentioned in verse 12. It's not like he needed to purchase anything. So why is it mentioned? Well, what we have here is a story being told, and the story is being told to Moshe, also known as Moses. The first 5 books of the Bible are called the books of Moses. Moshe wrote down what was being told to him when he went up to the mount for 40 days and 40 nights. In that time, he got the 10 Commandments and the details about the creation. So back to the gold. The gold was mentioned in verses 11 and 12 because there was a story being told to Moshe, giving him landmarks that he could identify with and relate to. Gold had a value that Moshe could relate to. Verse 13. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. Ethiopia hadn't been established yet. The Hebrew word for Ethiopia is Cush. Cush hadn't been born yet. But again, this is a story being told to Moshe so he can identify with the landmarks that Yahweh has given him. Moshe could recognize where Ethiopia was, so he could geographically spot where the river went through. Gihon River is the Blue Nile today. Verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Hiddekel is another word for Tigris. In this verse, you see Assyria, and Assyria has not been established yet. Again, this is a story being told to Moshe, giving him identifying landmarks so he can know where these places are. The fourth river is Euphrates. The Euphrates and the Nile River are still here today. Verse 15. And Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Elohim didn't have to teach Adam how to dress and keep the garden. He already knew how. Adam didn't have to learn how to walk or talk. He was created as a grown man full of knowledge. Another thing to know would be, you and I got our nourishment in the womb through an umbilical cord attached to our navel, also known as the belly button. But since Adam wasn't born, he didn't have a navel, and neither did Eve. Verse 16. And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And Yahweh Elohim said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. Adam was so intelligent that he could name the animals and all the living creatures. Verse 21. And Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahweh Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. Woman comes from man. Eve wasn't created like Adam was. The first woman came from man. And this was the first operation ever recorded. Yahweh put Adam to sleep, removed Adam's rib, and closed him back up. And when we have surgery today, we get anesthesia to go to sleep, get cut on, and get closed up. Another fun fact is neither Adam or Eve had a father or mother. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 says, Male and female created he them. Male was created first and then the woman. She came after the man, and Yahweh gave the woman to the man. He didn't have to look for a woman to help him. And helping the man was the woman's primary job and nothing more. Verse 23. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." They didn't look at each other like man and woman look at each other today. Verse 24 says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Let's read Matthew chapter 19, verses 1 through 5. Verse 1. And it came to pass that when Yeshua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea, beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, "Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?" And he answered and said unto them, "Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh." This shows Yahweh was the one to say, "Leave and cleave" in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Well, that's it for today's lesson. Join me next time to learn a bit more about the history Elohim left for us to enjoy. If you've learned anything from today's lesson, please share what you've learned in the comments and hit the like button to let YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on learning something new. Okay, family. Until next time, be blessed.